Hello and a very warm welcome to the Postgraduate Degree Programs webinar at the Berlin School of Business and Innovation. Choosing the right course for your career is a big decision to make, and we are here to help you make that decision. I'm Jackson, the Communications Manager at BSBI and your moderator today. Joining us in the panel is Professor Kyriakos Koviliotis, our Programs and Partnership Director. Hi, Professor.
Hello. Hi to all.
Could you tell us a bit about yourself, please?
Well, I'm currently, as you said, in charge of the partnership and some programs of BSBI in Berlin. I'm also a full professor at the International Telematic University Union Nettuno, a member of the governing committee in the Hellenic Open University, and among my other activities, I have been a professor in many institutions so far. I have designed around 40 postgraduate programs globally. Supervise around 2,000 dissertations and PhD doctorates, and I have also published 12 books and around 200 papers and articles. So I try to keep it brief, but I would give everything back to be able to start studying again as an undergraduate. This is what I really believe.
That's a good spirit. That's a very lovely introduction. And joining us also is Dr. Alexandra Gray, our Academic Director. Hi, Alexandra.
Technology, I'm a Luddite.
But you're here.
Every time I click on something, it shuts down. Hello.
Hi. Alexandra, would you like to say a few words about yourself, please?
I'm not very good with technology.
But you're the academic director.
I'm the academic director, so I have other people to deal with technology for me.
Yes, that is correct.
And I've been in higher education, let's just say for the last 30 years and not more than that for the time being. And I like living in Berlin, and I like my international students.
Good. And then we have got a head of student recruitment, Ali Salman. Hi, Ali.
Hi, guys. My name is Ali Salman. I'm the head of recruitment here at BSBI. I've worked in the higher education industry for over 7 years now. So my particular role is to ensure that all consultants are consulting students accordingly and making sure you guys get all the information you need. We have over 85 consultants at the moment, and hopefully we'll hear from you guys soon.
And our final panelist is Student President Sandra Ejiofor of the Student Council. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Sandra, and I'm a master's student for International Tourism, Hospitality, and Event Management here at BSBI. I represent my class for the 2019 October batch, and I'm also the student president for the master's program. Thank you.
Very warm welcome to you all. We will be taking a look at the agenda. We have, oops, apologies. See, Alexandra, you're not the only one. I'm struggling with this too. So there we go. On the agenda, we have 5 main topics today that we'll be taking a look at. We'll speak about the future of global markets and how BSBI prepares our students to face the needs and requirements of the global markets. We'll take a look at our 9 different postgraduate degree programs. We'll talk about the partnership philosophy. Then we'll go on to speak about what it means to be a student at BSBI. Sandra will be our main point of contact here. And in the final bit, we'll talk about the entry requirements and how you can apply. And at the end of the webinar, you have the opportunity to ask us any questions that you may still have. So let's get started. The first point is the future of global markets. Professor Kyriakos, how would you describe BSBI prepares our students to face the ever-changing needs of the future of global markets?
Well, now we're actually living, I would say, in the aftermath of the globalization era. Some of us in the academic area, we can say that we experience the Industrial Revolution 4.0. I would say that we are in the first decade of the next Industrial Revolution, which is 5.0. And you can associate this with the way that international networks, mobile phones work. So we're now in the 5G era. And technology is not just a tool or an instrument that is going to help us move forward. It has created its own methodology and its own norms. So we have to take this for granted and maybe change our mentality. It is now not so much important where you are, where you study. What you need to acquire is a lot of experience from different teams of people. What we're actually doing in Berlin, for me, is a paradigm or an example of how future education will be. The most amazing thing is not just the big number of students that coming from all these different countries. It's how BSBI is structured itself. As members of staff, we are also very international. And this is amazing that we all work together in such a harmony and with such good intentions. So it's like we're living in the same environment and the same mentality with the students. And this is also very refreshing for us. Since the global market is changing as well, there are jobs, for instance, that our kids will have to do, let's say in probably 10, 15 or 20 years, that have not been invented yet. This is very important. And if you consider also that, let's say in 10 or 20 years that a BSBI graduate will have a peak in his professional career, he or she has to change jobs and positions at least 4 to 8 times. So what our approach in these issues is to try and provide them all the necessary tools and instruments in order to tackle this challenge. And that's why we're somehow bringing different disciplines together. So it's not just business, it's not just marketing or management or tourism or hospitality. There are a lot of disciplines that are joined together. Together with some special skills that you need to have in the contemporary professional environment, language learning as well, internships, and a lot of other innovations that its title said BSBI is bringing to the students.
It was quite a very good detailed description of how BSBI equips our students. Sandra, you as a MA in International Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management student, tell us about your experience. How does BSBI prepare you for your career?
Okay, first off, my course is a practice-oriented course, and it's a very interesting one. You know, it's a course that's constantly growing with a lot of innovations coming into the tourism sector. So yes, it's a huge one for me, and it's actually catching global faces. Like everybody wants to study tourism, everybody wants to do the hospitality sector, and BSBI doesn't just teach us hospitality and tourism. It goes broad. We actually also been talked about entrepreneurship, leadership skills, development. So this is actually helping us carve our own niche, making choices of what you want to do. And of course, this is actually a very, very good one and an amazing opportunity to want to explore and do something more. Yeah.
Ali, we have got 9 postgraduate degree programs that are tailored for the needs of the growing market. Could you walk us through this, please?
Well, what we have is 2 MBAs. One of them, the awarding body is CUC, which is a university based in Chicago. And then we have the Global MBA, which is obviously also awarded by Unituna. And then we have MBA in Maritime Shipping, Tourism, Finance, and Marketing, in Health Management, and also a DBA. So you can see there's a great mixture to allow people to gain the qualifications that they need to go into the markets that they wish to work or expand their academic knowledge in.
Dr. Alexandra, could you tell us a bit more about our partnership philosophy with Concordia University of Chicago? I think the sound is gone at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can hear you now. No, it's gone again. Yes.
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 I'm deliberately being muted. The partnership with Concordia University is qualitatively very different from that with Union. It's more intensive, more blended, and it's more, I would say the MBA is more generic than the global MBA, but the MA in innovation and entrepreneurship is also quite innovative. And we have a lot of students, international students, who come from family businesses. Their background is family business, and they're actually quite interested in developing further those entrepreneurship skills that they need to develop their family businesses to help their businesses grow. The Union partnership covers undergraduate degree programs as well, so
Yes.
it's a fairly standardized program in that sense.
And Professor Kuriakos is Union expert, isn't he?
Well, he's the director actually of the international management, health management,
yes.
the DBA,
yes.
and maritime and shipping management.
Yes. Professor Kuriakos, would you like to elaborate a bit?
It was like a bad word. So what I can add about the Union partnership is that the programs that Alexandra mentioned, the maritime and the international health management, are also programs that I have designed, and I also run in the university for the last 10 years. And so far, we have thousands of graduates from 170 countries around the world from these programs. If you want my experience on that, the more diverse the student body is, the more advantages the students have. And this is why most of our students are employed immediately afterwards, especially in these fields. For Union Nettuno, what I can also say in its programs is that they follow a blended model. And Union Nettuno is one of the distance universities of Italy. But the enrichment to all of these programs by BSBI, for me, is much more important than the actual programs. Because the blended version and everything else that I told you before, they constitute these degrees that we run in Berlin even better than the original ones run solely by Union Nettuno. And for me, this is an added value to these programs. So the university itself should also feel very proud because we gave a huge boost to these programs. The DBA, it is also a unique program because it is associated with any professional aspiration a student can have in the contemporary professional environment, because it has a lot of pathways and a lot of concentrations. As you know, all doctors, they have to be unique. So it is also a program that I'm very proud of. The other program, I think it's an MA in strategic marketing and not management, finance and investments, and also international tourism, hospitality, and event management are excellent programs, and they also have thousands of graduates so far. And I strongly recommend anybody, especially in the area of tourism, to attend this particular master.
Thank you, Professor Kuriakos.
Noted, thank you.
Yep. Now that we have heard about our partnership philosophy, Sandra, we would like to hear about your experience as a student. What is it like to be a student at BSBI?
I'd say home away from home. It's actually a very good experience for me. I'm like literally for me, like I have made the best of friends here. You know, my class is very multicultural. School is very multicultural. Like everybody from every part of the world is actually currently in BSBI at the moment, you know, and it has become really, really amazing. Our teachers are great. We can actually approach them when we have any challenges. Teaching styles and method are actually really outstanding. We have amazing cafeteria upstairs. I just feel it's fair where you could actually learn and where you can actually be yourself, where you can actually grow you know, you have challenges and then you can walk up to your professor's office and then ask him, and then he puts you through and makes sure that you actually get what he's saying. So I think it's actually a great one. It's good. Then we have the free German class, because the language is going to help us to not just communicate, but to be able to integrate into the system. And then we get this class for free here in school. So it's a good one. It's my school is great. BSBI is actually good for me. Yeah, I like it. And I like my friends.
You mentioned the German classes are free. So is it mandatory for all students, or you can attend if you would like to?
Yes, you could attend if you like to, but why not attend something like, I don't know, it's for your own personal good. So everybody is advised to attend. Yeah, you just have to be able to structure it with your regular classes and then the German classes. Everything is actually strategically positioned, so you should be able to manage both classes and then the German classes. Yeah, and the German classes even morning and evening, so there's no way you will not be able to fit one particular schedule into your own schedule. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for us.
Sounds very well organized. You are also the student president of the Student Council for our MA programs. Can you tell us a bit more about this and how you help BSBI in making things better for students, the student experience?
I'd always say I'm a service person, because my major job is to communicate the concerns of the students to the management, right? Like, I'm actually bridging that gap, because the management actually understood that it is easier for students to relate with fellow students, you know, to be able to ask questions and then be comfortable. So when I get challenges, accommodation, transport, this, and then we have to now channel it to the right office where it can actually be resolved. So yeah, that's what basically I do. You listen to their concerns and then help get it sorted out, or help them understand that sometimes you've got to adjust and just agree with the system. So it's actually a good one. I get to meet a lot of people and talk to a lot of people. Yeah.
Sounds quite good. Berlin is the capital city of Germany, and it's most definitely an exciting place for students to be. What is your opinion about Berlin?
Literally yesterday, it rained and then the sun came out again and then it became windy again. So Berlin is, what's the word? Berlin is exotic.
It reminds me of London now.
You cannot predict Berlin. It is fun, it is great. And yeah, it's actually where, you know, the vibe is. You will not compare Berlin to other cities or other extreme cities in Germany here. So yeah, you meet a lot of people, and it's actually a very multicultural city, you know, and we have a lot of fun stuff to do. Even aside school, we have lots of museums, parties, yeah, food, people.
Sounds
so
good
yeah,
for students.
It's a great one. Yes, it does, but you have to be able to balance it too, because if you go the other way too much, and then you miss the other way too much, and then, you know, attendance is quite important here, so you have to be able to know how to juggle both life, and then it's actually great. It's a good one. Yeah, good.
Alexandra, I'll come back to you, because I remember you mentioning that you like Berlin because it's a green city.
I like it because of the partying in the nightclub.
I see.
As well.
I go out with Sandra regularly. She won't admit it though. No, I like it because it's a green city. It's very multicultural. I said before, it reminds me a lot of London. You know, only Londoners are more polite, perhaps. But it's a friendly city because there are so many different people in it, which is why London is like it is. It's open because there's so many different cultures and so many different people. So no, it's a good city. It's a good city.
And Professor Kuriakos, how do you find Berlin? Do you feel at home? Do you find it welcoming?
It's definitely multicultural, because as you can see, none of us is German. So I know that all of us, we first came to Berlin for the weather, but for all the other issues, I agree with Alexandra, of course, but also it's the startup capital of Europe. And if you combine that with the education that we're offering, the German lessons, with the time that you can spend after your degree in order to find a proper job there according to to students' satisfaction, then for me is the ideal destination, not just for studies, but also for other activities. And what is happening in Germany right now in the last couple of years is to substitute, in essence, Great Britain in higher education. That's why it is now one of the hottest destinations of students worldwide. Most of the new programs that are developed in the country are in the English language. Obviously, we're talking about the most powerful country in Europe, in the heart of the Eurozone, in the heart of Western Europe. And there is no Brexit, there are no other strange things and strange policies happening. There is stability, and it is also an ideal destination for us as well, not just for the students. So we are the living proof of why Germany, and Berlin in particular, is one of the hottest places on earth to be right now, for all different reasons.
We have heard about why Berlin is an attractive city. We have heard about BSBI and the different programs. Ali, the next question would be, what kind of students are we looking for, and how do they apply? And how can they apply? Do you want to postgraduate?
Yeah, sure. Well, for these particular programs, we have a variation of different programs which can cater to almost any student's needs. So this is where we encourage you to submit your application, and then we could also guide you as to what is outstanding, what is required for you to actually be able to study with ourselves, and give you a good idea of what your stepping stones would be like if you're looking to travel abroad and study with ourselves at BSBI. So the academic requirements, of course, you have to have an undergraduate degree or equivalent to a UK undergrad if you're going for a postgrad. We have a completed application form, which you could actually do fully online, which if you go onto our website, pick the course of your selection, you'll be able to see the website link, which allows you to then apply. Obviously, school leaving certificates, which is part of the process as well, because some of you may be applying for a student visa to be able to study in Berlin. So then we have a letter of motivation, which can be a personal statement as well, to explain why Germany, why are you looking to study this course? What do you think it could bring for you if you complete the course with ourselves? Then, of course, we require a CV and a reference letter where it could be academic, it could be a work reference, and on top of it, a passport size photo and proof of English proficiency. And of course, a copy of your passport. The proof of English proficiency, we usually will accept IELTS, TOEFL, PTE. But in some cases, if you have, let's say, a WIAC, you could provide us with a MOI letter, which is a confirmation of your medium of instructions was in English, and we could exempt you on that basis. But generally speaking, everyone can apply. It costs nothing, and I encourage everyone to see where it could take you. You never know. You may not decide to want to study in Berlin, but once you actually apply, then it becomes so real. It becomes something that you never anticipated, and you think, okay, let me see how far this can go. You could end up with an unconditional offer letter. Sounds like that's what happened with you, Sandra. But it's always good. It's always good just to submit your application, and you never know, you could be someone like Sandra who ends up in Berlin studying and questioning every night when she wakes up and she sees herself in a completely different country. Yeah, you have nothing to lose to do all of it. So I definitely highly recommend it. Just go onto our website, look at the application, submit it. One of the program consultants will get in touch. So you're not going to be on your own throughout this process. We have someone who will be able to guide you throughout the entire process. And you'll only have to speak to one person. So it gives you that personal, well, it caters to you personally to allow you to understand you have this point of contact. They will request what you need, and they'll also advise you on the entire process.
Sounds really good to me. So I think we've gone through all the main topics that we have. We have come to the Q&A section. I have one question here that has been sent through. Oops, sorry, again. Yes, I found it again. I have one question here that has come through where a student is asking, a prospective student is asking, the student has found the bullet point Professor Kuriakos mentioned quite interesting, the startup capital of Europe. So there must be so many opportunities for students, and question mark. Is there anything you would you could elaborate to it, Professor Kyriakos. So basically,
not only for students, also for us. It's been very different to talk theoretically about a place to offer startup opportunities, and much different we're talking about Berlin, because Germany and the Berlin state, they actually support these kind of initiatives. I have students in the last couple of months that they have started while they were still studying their own businesses in Berlin. And some of these ideas, they were also initiated by essays or projects inside the class. This is indeed, for an academic, I feel very proud of that. This is too good to be true, but it's happening. For us, this is the ideal situation. I had a student in the strategic marketing class, and she created a business plan. We discussed it together with the other students in the class, and just after a month, he actually initiated a plan, went to a bank, get a business loan, found a place, and started her own enterprise, which is amazing in the way she has progressed. And that's one of the, I think, 10 cases of students that I had the last few months. So it is not just theoretical that we say, okay, Germany offers a lot of professional opportunities. It's the whole culture of the place in combination with what you are offering to the students. And one of the tools that I have tried to initiate in my classes in particular are simulation exercises, so that they will have a lot of experience before they go out. So it is much better if me and the other professors helping them how to design their business plan before they graduate. So this is an asset, and this is something that not a lot of institutions are offering. What Berlin is offering us is the ideal external environment to put in practice all these ideas and plans. So that's why I said I wish I was a little bit younger and start everything again in Berlin.
Yeah. Sounds fantastic that students get to do their business plans already at BSBI before they go into the real world and have to do it. It's real good experience they gather at BSBI. One of our second questions is for Ali, and it is with regard to the entry requirements. The student is asking, are these the minimum entry requirements that we have mentioned on this?
Yes. These are the minimum entry requirements, but once again, we sometimes on experience and also some academic qualifications, we do have some students who don't meet the academic requirements fully, but have great work experience and a backing on it and a great English proficiency, which they only lack in that area, which isn't their fault, because in some countries, the level of studies can be just slightly lower to our requirements, but we can still submit these students on a premature route. This will go directly to the awarding body and they could consider this particular application. I highly recommend, once again, just submit an application. You have nothing to lose. The program consultants will do everything for you. You just need to submit the documentation and they will request everything as they go. So I wouldn't say the entry requirements to have you discouraged. If you feel you have the work experience within the field, let's say marketing wise, you've worked there for years and years and you're a mature student, but your qualification isn't at the same level of what we expect, we can still consider that application.
Good. Our next question is about a student asking, what are the entry requirements for our doctorate in business administration? I don't know if we have like a set entry requirements that is available, or we could even send this to a student as one of the program consultants can contact the student and send it to them in a detailed format. But roughly speaking, they need to have a master's degree, right? From what I understand.
Yeah, well, there are, very briefly, there are two routes in this program. If you have a master's degree, an MBA or an MSc with a research component, that is to conduct a research dissertation, then it is there is an option that you can achieve a direct entry into year 3. The DBA is a 4-year program. If you don't, you can still be accepted based on other skills that you have in year 1. But the most important thing for this particular program is the quality of the research proposal that a student has to submit, because for the next years you have to drink, sleep, eat, doctorate. So you have to be very committed on that. It's a lonely process. It's completely different from all the other academic programs. It needs a lot of personal determination, but also the added value of this is not the area that you will explore, because after 5 or 10 years, that will be old news. I don't even remember my chapter for my own PhD. But what is important and what is going to change your life is the mentality and the way of thinking that you will get by doing such a course, because afterwards everything will be as a project for you. So your approach to things, to professional challenges, even to personal one, is going to be changed because of that. So this is the best value of any other program.
Thank you, Professor. The next question is one of the students asking, IELTS is part of the English language requirements. Is it compulsory to have an IELTS score? Is the question. I don't know if that question makes sense.
It's I'll be able to elaborate either way, just to make sure we cover everything. Well, of course, you have to do the academic IELTS as you're going to be looking to study. So first point, it has to be an academic IELTS. You need a 5-point off of a postgraduate program. So you need a 5.0 on each band and an overall 6. So this is the academic requirement, and also essentially you need a B2 level within that standard, whether it's TOEFL, PTE, or any other English examination. These are the requirements for English. The people who can be exempt from the English requirement would be, for example, if you hold a UK passport or any passport which from a country that is English as a native language. So for example, Australia variation, or even if you hold an academic qualification, which the medium of instructions was in English, you may hold, let's say, a Lebanese passport, as I am, but the qualification that I have is from a UK institution or from an Australian school, then that can still exempt you from your English requirement as well, as long as you've completed the course.
Thank you, Ali.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, and none of the students should see any language certificate or any linguistic skills document as an obstacle or as a constraint. It's something that we need in order to, any student needs that in order to be able to receive this kind of education. So what we all need to remember is that when you start studying in the English language, for instance, your skills are going to improve dramatically in the first 2 months. So if it looks like a small constraint in the beginning, it's not. Just do what is necessary for this to get it out of the way, and then your linguistic skill will go like this. I know that from personal experience as well. So don't try to think of this as an obstacle. It's just something typical that you need to put it aside, and then start enjoying all these brilliant things that we're all committed to give you.
We also have English language teachers, so you do get students do get, if they need it, study skills in academic skills, in academic writing, reading, and that. So you do get support for your English as well as German.
Yeah, because these are just guidelines to ensure that every student can study, because the whole thing is taught in English. So we would like the students to be able to meet all the expectations so they don't fall behind. As the professor rightly said, it's not an obstacle, it's just a part of the process. And on top of this, it's also will be part of the visa process if you're an international student. So that when you go for an appointment, they will request this document. So this is one of the other reasons. But definitely don't let it dishearten you or make you feel as if it's going to be difficult. It's just a small little barrier, but easily can be obtained at the very end.
Gives hope. Our next question is, what's the difference between global MBA and MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship?
Many differences on that one. So as mentioned previously, we have a global MBA and MBA. The MBA is provided by CUC, and the global MBA is provided by Unina. With regards to the actual course.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt
Go
you.
ahead.
I also misread that at the beginning, but literally the student is asking MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So we have the Global
Yes.
MBA,
Oh,
the
yes.
MBA, and MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And the student wants to know what's the difference between Global MBA and MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship. It's easy to get them all mixed up.
No, yeah, I know. I was just about to go into that. I just want to explain the differences before I went into
no,
MA.
please proceed. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's really fine. So global MBA as a whole is, for example, global MBA is something which is of interest for me because my particular role, there's no mainstream of what I do day to day. I cover a variation of things, so whether it's HR, accounting, finance, leadership. Global MBA gives you all those skills. So if you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you want to get managerial experience or get something which is a lot broader, then of course a global MBA is a great qualification to go under. But unless you want to become an accountant or want to become a doctor, then of course you need to do particular qualifications in order to achieve what your end goal is. So this is what it comes down to. And with regards to the MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship, it's very different from a global MBA. The global MBA will give you a broader view, but the MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship, you're more or less going to look at exactly what the professor said previously, the changes in the market, what opportunities that can create, what different business plans you can make on the back of this. For example, cars now self-drive themselves. What technology can we apply in order to maximize in profit, maximize in productivity, or create trends within the economy? So there's a variation of different factors. The MA is more about creating something. The MBA is about developing what you currently have on a broader scale.
That's very nicely explained, Ali. And that was our final question, actually. There are no more questions that have come through. And with that, we have come to an end of this webinar. Dr. Alexandra, Professor Kuriakose, Ali, and Sandra, thank you so much for sharing your insights and expertise with us. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us today. We hope we have been able to help you get to know our postgraduate programs a bit better. We wish you all the best for your studies, and we look forward to welcoming you on campus. See you soon.